Okay, let me take you on a journey into the trunk. I was skeptical about the amount of welds underneath that I didn't see under these rails, and I was right. There's literally, all I can see are one here, I see one here, and I see one here. That's not bad. 3 in that section is still light. It should be probably more like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at least. Anyway, this stretch, I see 0 welds, and I see one here. You can see the pinholes and whatnot, voids and stuff like that. Anyway, then I see another one here. It looks to be like a silhouette of a weld. And then it goes about 6-8 inches, and I thought that was a weld, but it kind of looks more like a dent. And then I don't see it get welded until they section the floor and back over here. So, but what I want you to hear is the noise difference between up here, where it's welded, as you come down here, you can hear that, and then it tightens up again, starts to do it again. But really, all the way down here, it's double tapping, like, that means there's voids. You know what I mean? Like, it should not sound like that. It should sound like one even thud. So, I'm gonna re-drill all these. This side looks better. It doesn't look better. It looks like it's missing welds too from the outside, but because it's the original section of floor there, I'm assuming that they had to drill the old factory rail holes out on this side, and so I'm assuming they had to weld them all back up, and it still sounds a little voidy, but not anywhere near as bad as that. So I'm gonna drill these out and weld these in, clamp them together well, and they definitely didn't clamp them together either. So there's big gaps between the rail and the floor there that they just stack welds on back here. So I'm gonna fix this side. Okay, just to show you real fast, that tore because that was the only weld, maybe with like 2 other, one right here, that were in there, and that's why that one domed up right here too. It's like a little raised section outside that weld. But this tore right here when I clamped everything down, because this is a giant puddle weld, which I'm gonna rip off of here in a minute. On that one I'm not gonna do anything about it because it didn't bust through, but I've got to weld a little hole back up here. But overall, now this is welded solid and secure, and no more whatever jingle bells. So all these go-go gadget welds that are like this tall and that long, they're all over this thing. I got to find them and clean them up because they're trash. And that's because none of these things were drawn together tight before they began to weld. I don't understand that. So once you weld them that far apart and fill up a gap, like, you can never draw them tight together like they're supposed to be. So your flanges are gapped instead of being tight. And so any kind of rockage just is on that weld, and those panels can do this to each other and then bust the weld right free. So if they're tight together, they can't really wiggle away from each other to start tearing the welds. That would have been a total failure point. Like, I don't even understand why that was left like that. Now it makes me skeptical about all of that and really a lot of other places on this thing. Don't know if you can see the gap, but I had to grind down the whole center of this weld and metal floor, or metal section of the floor, just to free up. I had to grind down about 3/8 of an inch to clear all this out of here. But now that I've cleared it out, I'm gonna drive the rest of the floor down where it's supposed to be, and then I'll have to finesse this big giant hole up closed with a weld to clean this up. But now all of this is nice and solid. Once that's welded down, it's gonna be fully nice.